We're back. Sorry that I haven't been really making any recordings. I was hoping to get back in the swing of things, but with everything going on, moving and the pandemic and work, I haven't had the time, and we're still trying to get everything moved around here. So yeah, it's gonna be a while, especially in video game videos that I make. It's currently on hold for now as we haven't gotten my TV and everything in, and I can't go back to the other house because it's cramped up with boxes. So, might as well come back with a thoughts video, and this time talking about the Dawn of X era of X Men. And what better way to talk about this than talking about. Really, I found these issues to be a little underrated. Like, I get why some people probably didn't like it, but, like, at the same time, I was thinking, man, these issues are pretty good. I think they were overlooked a little bit. But let's talk about it. The first and only 6 issues of Fallen Angels. And I got the Pepe Laz variant, and this was awesome. So, yeah. If you notice, I don't have issue 4 with me because I forgot to buy it. Yeah, but I did read it, so yeah, make of that what you will. But I really did love issues one's variant cover of Pepe Larraz. Yeah, Third Eye doesn't have that many variant issues of the Dawn of X thing, so I gotta take them for what I can. And yeah, so Fallen Angels, I don't really know much about this team. Turns out they haven't had a comic series since 1987. Yeah, yeah, they haven't had a comic series since 1987, and that series lasted from when I was doing my research 8 issues. So this was 2 issues less than what was originally supposed to be. And apparently, the creator of the story that was doing this, let me see if I got Hill. Apparently, he was supposed to do something different. Apparently, go a little bit more longer, but then something occurred and he had to focus on other projects. So he put Fallen Angels on the back burner, and the main character of this story, Cyclops, not Captain Britain, not Britain, Cyclops. Yeah, it was complicated about the whole thing, how she switched bodies with someone and they became Psylocke and yada yada yada. It's long and complicated. I don't even know where to begin with that. But yeah. So this series got ahead and basically had to have a freshing start point. So we're gonna have to make do with what we can here. But yeah, Pepe Larraz's cover here, like this was the only variant cover they had at Third Eye Comics. So make it what you will. And I certainly loved this. I enjoyed this miniseries. It was pretty alright for me. A little underrated by people who didn't like it, but yeah, the artwork. At the time when I first read this, I was like, it's kind of an acquired taste to me. I don't know how to feel about it. But then after giving it a second read, months later, after everything else came out, and when Psylocke was moved to the Hellions issues, I decided to give it a second look to see where everything tied together, and I'll really start liking it more, liking this really realistic yet seemingly morbid at times paintings. But yeah, so let's get into these 6 issues because this is probably going to be a long one. Yeah, so part of the story is also told in flashback, featuring Cyclops' past. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce the Japanese goddess of mercy name because I do not know how to pronounce that. But yeah, we get this backstory about her and how she went through a lot, and yeah, basically her. Yeah, it's kind of morbid and twisted about how she was a slave basically, and one of these things is involving. Okay, so children are being abducted in this series, and yeah, and the main characters from this series is Cyclops, Magneto, Mr. Sinister, Cable, X-23, and Captain Britain in this first issue. But we see Cyclops enjoying the new foundings of Krakoa and essentially trying to see what life has brought to her as the issue says is called peace is called if I'm correct about this Bushido, but the subtitle is Peace in Our Times. Mutants around the world are flocking to the island nation of Krakoa for safety, security, and to be part of the first mutant society. Forget Genosha, that was the last year. New bonds are forged among mutant kind as old wounds heal, but the drums of war still beat for some. Yeah, basically, if I had to guess what this series was supposed to be about, it was focusing more on outcasts, not like the Hellions who were basically troublemakers and not so good do-gooders, but more like those who feel like they don't feel like they belong, even though they kind of do, but they don't. They don't feel it in them. And Psylocke is one of these characters, since the series basically has her as the main character. Right now, she's meditating and everything, and then she experiences these strange visions of death and destruction. In fact, when I was looking back on some of the artwork, I had realized, okay, I think I've seen this artwork before. And when I was looking at it, like there was this image where you see her face glowing, and there was a baby, and there's this person with his arms spread out. And when I was seeing it, I was like, that looks like the cover on Resistance variant cover I have. But it didn't. But the artwork wasn't that. But apparently, this new threat that she's envisioning is someone named Apoth. And then we transfer to the House of M, where Magneto's talking to her, saying it's a vision from an unknown source, and she says that she needs to leave Krakoa. However, I'm afraid there's just a little bit of a tiny problem with that. You see, in X-Force #1, it's Charles Xavier's killed. Yeah, he's killed in the first issue of House of X-Force. So Krakoa got put on lockdown in the event of that. So yeah, Cyclops goes ahead and yells out that this is no dream, Magneto, and we are not safe for what it could mean. And yeah, but so Magneto goes ahead and then bends the rules a little bit by saying, so basically says Krakoa's on lockdown. I can't help you. Officially, I can't, but I have no idea what you're talking about. In my grief over Charles Xavier, I forget conversations. So you can do something different. Go talk to Mr. Sinister. And then after Cyclops thanks him, he just says, "Don't thank me. I haven't done anything." So we cut to Mr. Sinister because in this issue he's not as flamboyant as he is in Hellions or in Powers in House of X, because that was just hilarious. The artwork goes very dark and gloomy kind of feeling to me, and she's basically trying to convince Mr. Sinister about this and talking about Braddock, the Captain Britain Psylocke, and yeah. So yeah. So she's doing this, and she wants to go ahead and she wants to leave Krakoa, but Sinister says, "Oh, how this paradise would judge us if it knew what we truly were. Please, passage granted. Go chase your Apoth, Cyclops, but don't do it alone." And then she says no one trusts her, but then she says, "Go find some people," and how they're finding something to destroy or something. And during this, as the pages go on, she recruits Cable, young Cable. Yeah, complicated. So like, okay, basically, Cable, the old man, is dead, but not really. And there's young Cable in his place, because apparently, if Cable, the old one, was around, then it would, everything would just resolve itself rather quickly with his time traveling. So they go with young Cable, and I was like, okay, I'm a little surprised they didn't bring back old Cable when Deadpool 2 happened. So, yeah. So Cyclops recruits Cable and X-23. X-23 basically saying she doesn't want to be in Wolverine's shadow anymore, and Logan Shadow, a life without Logan Shadow, she says, and asks when do they leave. So this takes place all mostly in Japan and Kokoa in this entire series, and yeah, they're investigating the whole issue, but we get to learn more of Psylocke's backstory as she's remembering her times about how she lost her mother, and yeah, basically this backstory continues going on, and then we get cut to this part where in issue one, uh, they're just taking out some people, and then they discover that, yeah. Oh, also the tech stuff from issues Powers of X and House of X, Hawks and Pox. Yeah, yeah. It turns out that they're all in the other issues in all the other series of Dawn of X, and we're getting these stuff about what is overclock, and yeah, they talk about this newest drug going around, and then we cut to outside Tokyo afterwards where they find children bleeding from the eyes black with devices on them, and they all die. So yeah, this is both a drug trafficking and a and children trafficking. And turns out that there's a speaker speaking through the child and says, "Not this child. It is just the speaker. I am the song mutant. Apoth, there's nowhere safe for you now. You have taken an interest in me. It would be rude if I didn't take an interest in you." And then she says she's a coward for killing kids. If you ever killed a child, you would know how hard it is. Go back to your exile, mutants. Without you, this will finally evolve. Leave me to my peace. And then he kills the child. So we get more of Mercy. I can't pronounce her name, so Psylocke's name, and how she's brandishing her sword and spreads her wings and fly. You are the will of balance. Tell me, what do you need? Someone worth killing. And then we cut back to Mr. Sinister, where, where, yeah, basically he's just getting tired of human tragedy and saying, and Cyclops just responds, "I brought purpose and I brought Cable, and I need a team. I'll recruit them. You keep our existence from the council. I'll bring Apop back to you. Whatever he is, whatever he can do, it's yours." And then I kill him. And now they go ahead and how she says, in her backstory, it's revealed that it's how the person who trained her will make her into bloom into a butterfly from a worm, and she says this to them at the end of issue one: "Your caterpillars glistening and soft, but I can make you butterflies." And that's the end of issue one. Let's cut to issue two, which features basically once again soldiers targeting Cyclops and her team of fallen angels and children trapped in a cage, because that's just pleasant imagery. Then we cut to London. Jolly old London, everyone. And this is a flashback, and Cyclops just goes ahead and investigates and then kills somebody. And then starts slaughtering people. People are trying to defend her from her wrath, and yeah, it does not end well because it's Cyclops and she will destroy you. So then the next issue is called Shoto, and it's subtitled "The War Within." Cyclops, formerly the assassin called, I'm not going to pronounce that, has received a vision of a new enemy, Apoth. Cyclops is joined by X-23 and Cable in search of Apoth, and the characters are those three, Dazzler, and Mr. Sinister. So, yeah, Krakoa goes ahead, and they're just in Krakoa, and they're talking about how they're going to find him, Apoth, and there's some character development going on with this issue in issue two. Yeah, sorry I didn't put the image header right here because I wanted to get this video out of the way, so I didn't have time to get the cover images, but I'll make up for it. So we get more character development interaction featuring Cable, X-23, and Psylocke, and and yeah, they're basically talking about this whole situation and their past and everything and their outsider status. And yeah, and there's one thing that, like I said, the artwork is an acquired taste in my opinion. Like there's times where it's brilliant, but at the same time it's just weird. And Cable's gritting his teeth, and it's like, those are pearly whites, aren't they? Okay. So yeah, and then we get to see Dazzler, and yeah, she brings up, yeah, she basically tries to say, tries to be all chipper and happy about how there's joy here and embrace it, and she just brutally says joy doesn't make everyone happy, and yes, I could use a friend. When we desire, we fall. Yeah, so Cyclops was part of the hand apparently. So then we get this tech stuff going on with the way of the hand is found in death. And conscious is a prison, one at peace is completely one with their masters, one will receive a command to kill that which seems innocent, to take up the matters of the world is not the task of one. So basically it's like peace is a lie, there is only passion, through passion I gain strength, through strength I gain yada yada yada, my chains are broken, the force shall set me free. And we get more codes of the hand, and then we get back to Japan and how Cyclops saves a bunch of saves this woman and from a doctor and tells her to leave, saying that how she killed her husband. And yeah, basically let's see this. Cyclops decides to do the right thing and says and say then tries to get her out of Japan. Unfortunately, in her narration, she reveals that they eventually do find her. They torture and kill her and the child inside her. She never told them about her and how she failed to keep her alive. Optimism is dead. And she describes saying, I am a child begging for porridge. I have no mother but a woman who wraps me in cloth. I am a worm wrapped in a silk, waiting for the morning I can fly, when I will be free of myself. Then we come back to Sinister, brooding in his bar Sinister location. So, yeah, basically he says, the price of my assistance is my satisfaction. Indulge my curiosity. Tell me about your butterflies. He's Cyclops. So, for Elizabeth, it meant beauty. She never knew what it meant to me. I said I hated them, the symbol of them. I lied. So, what is the truth? I hated that we had anything in common, and I hate that it might have been destiny that put her inside of me. Yeah, like I said, Elizabeth and Cyclops. History is complicated. They switched bodies, and then for a time she was trapped in, and yada yada yada. So yeah, they go into this whole backstory about everything, and Sinister just grins, saying, "You want redemption, perhaps later. I'll explain why that's so foolish. Consider me an ally. You indulge my interest, and I'll offer you what I can. And go. May you find what you desire." Then we cut to one of his Cable's safe house in an undisclosed location, and and she just says to the Cable, "Then take me to your hell." Elizabeth Braddock was the hero. I was the shell. I can teach you about war, Cable, and I can teach you about rage. But goodness, I'll have to learn from you both. We'll leave tonight. Take only what you need. We'll say who we can. And then we cut to Brazil, where careful, don't trust silence. And yeah, basically all hell breaks loose within seconds. They're attacked by a gigantic robot, and and then when all this is going on, she just says, "Cable, all we need is trust our anger now." And that ends issue 2, and let's cut to issue 3. Issue 3 of this series, and move forward. So yeah, we get more of this Japanese artwork going on with Cyclops, and now we get back to the past, saying, "I know where God lives. God lives in a moment a gunshot ends a life. God lives in the first breath of a child being born. Both moments equal, neither good nor evil. God cannot consider morality. God is purpose itself. I am Apoth. I am God. God made man to make me in as God, and I am so lonely, so lonely. Perhaps that is why I I keep leading her to me. Cyclops, you are the mother of God. Soon I will tell you how you created me. Soon you will serve your child. Soon." Yeah, and we get this imagery of basically the God creates man in his image finger portrait thing, but yeah, it's a robotic hand touching a human hand. So yeah, so issue 3 is called seppuku, the Japanese term for suicide, and the language of conflict. Cyclops, Cable, and X-23 they are hunting a mysterious new enemy, APOS, somehow connected to a dangerous new cyber drug called Overclock. While searching for a seemingly abandoned Overclock factory in Brazil, Cyclops and her warriors are ambushed. And it just shows the 3 teammates of the Fallen Angel group. And Cable just confidently says this won't take long, and immediately fails miserably. So yeah, so Cyclops tells X-23 saying never take your attention from the enemy away, no matter what, and X-23 just says, mm-hmm. This time, you wanted a lesson in anger? This is a fine time. You repress a lot, I can see that, so stop. We have an enemy that deserves your rage. And basically teaches her about rage and everything, and tells her to unleash that rage onto the enemy, and she absolutely tears apart the machine, and she just comments and saying, "Beautiful. How'd you feel? Pure. Sweat." And then she goes after, and then Cyclops stops her, saying, "Wait." And turns out what's inside the machine is just a kid. It says, "Do you understand Portuguese?" Yeah, he says, "Don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Tell him we won't." And then she speaks in Portuguese and saying we won't kill her. And Cyclops says, "We need to know him. Tell him not to be scared. What happened to him and the other children?" And then she says, "Show me what you've seen." And she says, "My God." Miles away, Cyclops is hanging on a bunch of stuff, is hanging over swamp stuff, and then he just says, "Yeah, I really think charging headfirst was a bad idea. Not my finest moment." Then he falls off of the swamp and collapses onto the ground. And then there's a voice called, "Nathan, Nathan, let me tell you about the future, our future together." And Cable just fires back and then report tries to contact Cyclops and X-23 and says, "I got a trace of something," and is then hit in the head. Apoth is the water for those lost in the desert. He is the end of pain and war and individuality. Behold the peace of the one mind. Let its light cleanse you. Then we get more excerpt stuff and from the scrolls of the exile. And then we go ahead and saying that the author's unknown. But then we get Cyclops saying, "Apoth's forces took the children. They're alive. I can track them. It's not too late, Laura." Laura? Cable. "Where are you?" X-23. "The boy is dead. It wasn't us. It was the machine. He couldn't survive without it. Cable's missing. I can try and track him. We might be able to. If the village children are still alive, we're going to set them free." Children. Why is it always children? Because Apoth knows what you've lost. He knows how to hurt you. Somehow this is all about you, Cyclops. Apoth, Overclock, all of it. But we have to find Cable. Cable can take care of himself. These children need us now. I hate all of this as much as you do. I was a child turned into a weapon. I get it. But Cable risked his life to do this, and he would want us to finish it. Perhaps Apop did take him. That means Apop could have killed him and didn't. That means we have time. I don't understand any of this, but I feel like we're dancing to Apop's rhythm and we can't. What choice do we have? I was given a vision to stop this. Right now, that's the only purpose I have. I have no place in Krakoa. And I don't even have my own name. I have this war, this enemy, and you have me. You're right. Cable will want us to finish the fight. So which way do they take the children? North. Then we go north. Clarity is coming, I promise. You'll know your part in this, Nathan. I am not Apov, but I serve him. You are a machine man. Mutant. The word for that is unity. And we get this awesome looking picture, awesome looking reveal of a skeletal robotic creature that looks like he's trying to be a Terminator, but his eyes are glowing. He's wearing robes and he has sharp objects coming out of his body. And unity is all we want. The end of technology, the end of mutants, the end of humanity, the end of difference itself. And we cut to be continued. So that ends issue 3, and we cut to issue 4. Sadly, I do not have issue 4 because I forgot to buy that when I was collecting all this stuff. So I'll be sure to correct that at a later date. So, yeah, I did read it, so let's move on. We get more of her backstory in Japan, and Cyclops' backstory about an old man and saying he's dying, poison. He tried to broker peace between the clans in their meeting without honor. They gave him the root of the deadliest flower on this island. Do not trust peace. That's where death hides. Then we cut to now where we see Cyclops then asking X-23, what do you see? It doesn't make sense, Cyclops, any of this. They're just standing there. It's like they're waiting for us. We can't let them die. This is bait, taking them. All this, like I said, this is all about you. Overclock, the APOP. This APOP, something wants to give you a message, and it's using violence to do it. That vision you had, I wouldn't trust it. Do you trust me? Wouldn't be here if I didn't. APOP killed your daughter. He knew you had a daughter. Or that means he knows you better than anyone on Krakoa. I hate having to ask this, but Elizabeth Bardock, you think she might have answers? She was inside you. Look, I know you hate her, but maybe she can give us some effing clarity. You're being led into something, Laura. I don't need help from Elizabeth Braddock. Never mention her again. Am I clear? Yeah, sorry. Which is why I'm now hoping that we get Cyclops and Elizabeth Braddock eventually interacting again, and hopefully Jonathan Hickman has them resolve their issues, and then we can see them be a duo together. But Cyclops does admit, you're right, I am being led, but so is all Krakoa. You're all figments of Xavier's vision. He gave you freedom and he took your will. Whatever this is, I have to find the source of it. That's my will. It is the only thing that leads me. And those children won't die tonight. You coming? I'm worried about Cable. Cable says he can take care of himself. Let's believe him. And I'm not going to pronounce the 4th issue's title, but I will say that the subtitle is Death Machine. And we get the summary. After his prophetic vision, Cyclops hunts a mysterious new enemy, Apop, responsible for the creation of a dangerous new saber drug called Overclock. Apop uses children to do his bidding. Cyclops, S-23, and Cable travel to Brazil to free them, but Cable was captured by an dynamic wraith-like creature. And sure enough, Cable is currently being tortured, because of course. And the cybernetic wrath-like creature is basically wax philosophicing everything. And it's talking about the glory of Apop and how it will lead to God and to salvation and to unity. And God only wants Cyclops love and yada yada yada. And X-23, Laura just says, what do we do, Cyclops? I'm scared of what happens if we touch them. Nothing will happen. Sorry, I keep yawning for some reason. Nothing will happen because he needs them to see us. I don't you wanted me here, didn't you? Ooh, you knew Kilo would come. You knew I would come with him. Who are you talking to? I know you see me. Talk. Of course I see you. Laura, stand down. Your friend wants to fight. Machines, blades, and guns. Fighting won't solve this. Overclock is linked to these children. I live between their minds, and minds all over the world. All you could do is listen to me, because you cannot stop me. But I may allow these children to live if you give me what I want. What do you want, Cyclock? You can't trust it. I would never hurt you, not you. You gave me life. Use your gift. See me inside this child's mind. Cable's survival depends on it. He is with my flock. Take this hand, save his life. Don't! And then we get another of the God creation portrait hand image, and then the child just says together at last, and she just glows randomly, and then we get this bunch of narration text. And yeah, she's basically experiencing an internal vision within the mind. And yeah, Cyclops then glows, and an aura shrouds through her, and the child hybrid hive mind says, I am Lucifer, the defiance of the fire. I am the voice that guided Noah. I am the flood. Your love saved me. You are my mother, because God wants one. Would you like to know what else God wants? Nathan Cable, God wants to evolve the world. In communion, mankind will take his technology into its flesh. Then they will all become part of me, free from difference and death. Out there many, they will be one. I will give this world a perfect peace, and I will never be alone again. Soon I will make a temple of a city. You will know when. Join me there, or I will kill more. In your name, I will kill so many. But tonight you listen, so these children may live. I have mercy, mother. I only killed that girl because I will not share you. Cable will be allowed to return to you. I have mercy, mother. And then the child collapses and faints. And X-23 says that they're alive, and then Cyclops just says, can you hear that? And Laura says, hear what, Cyclops? I can't hear anything. Can you see it? And of course, there's a silver Dr. Manhattan floating over her. And she just screams, can you see it? Tell me you can see it. And sure enough, she cannot see it. And that ends the issue. And we get this phone interview excerpt from Transcript of Tokyo, Japan. And talking about this interview with someone named Dr. Nakamoto. Oh, I think it's about the overclock drug. I'm not 100% certain. It's about some project, but who knows. Now let's cut to issue 5 of Fallen Angels. Yeah, I could have gone into detail had the Stark first coming out, but I wanted to just get this really fast, yet have some detail to it. So let's get to issue 5 with a pretty awesome cover of Cable's eyes glowing green and Cyclops' blade at the helm. Cable, you alright? Whatever it was, it let me go. I want payback, but I'm okay. Good. APOC wants the end of all difference. That sounds like genocide. I don't do genocide. I heard Sai went crazy. Is she crazy? No, Huss, no more than we all are. I thought the whole point of this Krakoa thing is that we don't have to care about what happens to humans. Does that feel right to you, living like that? No. Oh. And then she gets this conversation with a non-mutant because in issue 5, 2 more members join the team. And yeah, basically they explain that we're not X-Force, we're unofficial, and might put you at the odds with this place. And how one of them says, I don't trust this place, I trust you. If you trust Cyclops, then I trust her too. Copy that. I'll tell Cyclops we have a squad, and I'd be proud to stand with any of you. And it's X-23, Bling, Husk, Cable, Cyclops, Mr. Sinister, and Magneto in this issue. Issue 5, I have Sunset Sensei, also known as Lead the Way. Cyclops is currently meditating and then gets some interactions with Laura, talking about stuff regarding the situation and how she has formed a squad to help out. Then we get to Bar Sinister and saying, I'm not the Wizard of Oz, Cyclops. I can't make a lion breathe or give a beating heart to a man of tin. And, well, he could, but it'd be very, 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 very unethical. So, yeah, he could do that, but it would be really unethical. And, yeah, so Bar Sinister saying that Bar Sinister's analyzed the overclock device you graciously shared with him. If APOTH uses it as a gateway to minds, I've made it possible to gateway to APOTH. To test it, I need to separate your consciousness from your body. The most efficient way to do that is through pain, extreme pain. This is a controlled test contained cyberpace. If this works, then your consciousness will know his world. Here, he cannot see you on Earth. It would be like walking into a kingdom alone. If it does not work, then your mind might shatter. These are the risks. Even odds are the outcome. Do it. You take a leap towards pain like someone who feels like they owe that to the world. Why are you still talking to me, Sinister? Why indeed? And it activates the device, and sure enough, her mind shatters into data and goes to the city. And it transfers to the city of Dubai, United Arab Emirates, a city of a throne, as a throne. And then we see people being panicking, glass shattering, it looks like, and the robotic wraith creature running around, and how she's explaining what she sees. And then Mr. Sinister says, how did it feel to be disconnected and whole at the same time? All mind, no body. I felt that before. This device, I could use it to find him in his proximity, yes. Thank you, Sinister. Why, Cyclops, why care what happens to them? APOC cannot come here. Let him infect the world. You owe it nothing. Conscience isn't based on debt. Conscience is purpose. And I finally have mine. And then we cut to another flashback of her past about little worm, look at you now. You've kept that hatred for so long, haven't you? I have one more lesson for you. After your killing stroke, don't let go of your anger. Your anger is the only thing that you will ever be able to trust. Trust it as a butterfly trusts its wings, and it will never let you fall. Do not waste time. You are out of your chrysalis. Spread your wings. Violence is all you will ever be. I have accomplished my task. And Cyclops kills her former mentor. And then we get the journals of the teacher talking about saying how they accomplished their task and everything. And that's it. Then we get to Krakoa now, and we see Cyclops watching Captain Britain, and then narrate saying, "We together, one body and mind, we together. I cannot blame you, Elizabeth. I will forgive you once I can no longer feel you. And we are finally apart." Yeah, that's probably the closest we'll get to their interaction. But I do hope that they can work out their issues because of the whole body thing. But it's all we can hope for. I would like to see these two interact with each other. And it will be a glorious moment to see them kick ass together as Cyclops duo. Then we cut to Laura say, "Show me. I'll go first." "What you got, baby Cable?" And Cable just shoots. And Brazel says, "Let me hold that for a second." And breaks something. When you're made of diamonds, the rest of the world feels like paper. Good start. Now, which one of you thinks they can hit me? If I hit you, I'll leave a mark. If you hit me, cross the line. And her team goes ahead and fights X-23, and yeah, they do not succeed. Enough. I know what city he's chosen. Be more than this war. I'm Cyclops. Some of you may have known this body, but you do not know me. I'm asking you to leave heaven to fight with me in hell. Well, and I do not deserve your trust. But if you give your trust to me, I will die to protect you, and I will kill to protect you. Your lives are more important than my own. I give you my word. Give me the honor of leading you. She's always this dramatic. I saw her smile once. My daddy died in a coal mine. I've been fighting my whole life to make that feeling go away. I heard this thing likes killing children. There ain't no paradise worth letting that happen. If this place is heaven, then I guess we're angels. Those when I read the Bible, angels had swords made of fire. Angels are warriors, so let's stop this madness. And yeah, when I was a boy in the camps, a man told me once we are only what happens to us as children. I would tell you to let humankind save itself from what he has created, and I would mean those words, Psylocke. But you want justice. You want to be justice, Magneto proclaimed. The boy inside of me will always understand that. You are rare among us, Psylocke. You understand the gift of Krakoa. You understand heaven because you have lived through hell. You never needed to ask for my permission to act again. You have my trust, my will, and my assistance. Let your APOF know that Minokai still watches the world show this god of machines a higher power, and rain your vengeance from the sky. And lo and behold, he summons a freaking jet from the ground. So yeah, we get to this big moment where the plot starts to come together. We go to Dubai to see this task force of fallen angels come to the battle and say, and the person watching, Mother is here. And we cut to the final issue of this series Fallen Angels issue 6 with the Fallen Angel team led by Psylocke, Cable, Husk, Bling, X-23, and Mr. Sinister. Fallen Angels issue 6 conclusion. All in together now. What I touch withers, what I love dies. Who are you to save anyone? I have no right to play hero, to be righteous. Elizabeth kept the righteousness and left me as a shell. You know what you are, you will fall, myself against myself. Silence your thoughts, they cannot help you. Remember where you are, focus. And yeah, basically, and don't injure them, they aren't in control. The task force of fallen angels is being sent, and Cyclock and says, I'm here, APOF is up there. You don't need me, you never did. You can do what must be done. I have to kill a god, Laura. Then get it done. And from up, get some damn space between them and us now. Cyclock has her task, we have ours. Stop them, but keep them alive. And then we get to this final epic conclusion, where Cyclops morphs butterfly wings with psionic powers and flies. And yeah, fight it with rage but fly. And Laura, I have an idea to buy us time. Don't start asking permission. Make it happen. Copy that. Cover your eyes now. And it's a flash grenade, I believe. Eve. Oh wait, it's a modified phosphorus. Overclock or not, fire makes anything back off. How much crazy did you bring with you? Plenty. I'll keep that in mind, and you keep it under control always. She's up there, up to him. She's up to him. It. You can do it, Sai. No more children. Ha! No more children. I should have destroyed you before. Don't expect me to make that mistake again. So, how do you mutants do it? Words, then we fight. I could be anywhere, in any mind linked by my little drug. You can't destroy me, but the Mother of God beside me, take my mercy. I don't want mercy, and I don't deserve, but you deserve me. Use that, and I already have you. As she enters the data mind of this world of the Overclock, and then the battle continues with the fallen angels. We need to help Cyclops, or what's happening here will be the whole world. I don't think she wants our help. I don't care what she wants. Oh no. But please, kill me. And this person's screaming to kill him. And Laura, what do I do? And blam. Cable, he was dead already. How do we save the ones that aren't? Fascinating. Your mutation of mind keeps you independent of me, but not for long. Says the wraith creature inside the mind inside the data mind. And thus we get to our epic battle. Cyclops wielding samurai weaponry and her psionic blade, and leads into the epic fight to end all epic fights. He's with a blast in her shield, and then in order to get in Cyclops' mind, and yeah, Apoth goes ahead and transforms into various people from Cyclops' past, such as her cruel teacher, or her lover, or her child. And during all this, Laura is running off to try and assist, and during this huge battle, what do? We help Laura, save their lives. That's what I thought. Follow me. And then Cyclops' former daughter says, Mommy, Mommy, no. Oh, I'm not fighting anymore. No, I'm not fighting, please. And then Cyclops has to bear the burden that she just inadvertently killed a person hosting as her child. And one of her fallen angels saying, is that her winning or losing? Winning? Surviving? I don't know. Cyclops? It's finished. What are you? The other aspect of what called itself Apoth. Life is binary. I always to be a god. He had to make an adversary. Apoth knew, so I exist. And now there's no need for me. Why didn't you stop him? You could have stopped him. I did stop him. I sent you. What do you mean you're walking away from us? We can keep fighting together. We can be something. Don't shut us out. I'm not shutting you out. I'm setting you free of me. I'm not a leader. You are, Laura. You're better than me and more certain than me. All I know is that how to do is to make someone what I am. That can't happen. What are you going to do? I'm going to hope that I can call you a friend. And Laura hugs her, and we go back to Bar Sinister for the final time and says, it lives within. I'm not Xavier. I can't even do what Elizabeth does, but Apoth echoes in my mind are bound in that. You should destroy it, but I know you won't. Let's pretend I destroyed it. Cyclops, where have I had a need? Can I call on you if you can find me? And I believe your need is just. What could be more fair than that? You did a good thing. You can do good things. I can. Then she walks off into the sunset, and the issue ends with this final text. And in time, His Majesty's ship sailed, with the whole clan behind them and their own. Anxious to be aboard, I shot the sword, but all the warships of the Imperial barge stood already far, far out to sea. I was stranded, reining on my horse. I halted, at a loss for what to do. Then galloping behind me. I am not pronouncing that complicated name, shouting, "You will not escape my arm." At this, wheeled his mountain swiftly, all undaunted, drew his sword. We first exchanged a few rapid blows. Then, still on horseback, close to grapple, fell and wrestled on upon the wave-washed strand. But you bested me, and I was slain. Now karma brings us face to face again. You are my foe, he shouts, lifting his sword to strike. But with kindness has repaid old enmity. Calling the name to give the spirit peace, they at last shall be reborn together upon one lotus throne in paradise. You were no enemy of mine. Pray for me, oh pray for my release. Pray for me, oh pray for my release. From an old poem from Zeme Mokotoko, I'm pretty sure I butchered that name, forgive me, who was around from 1363 to 1443. I can make you butterflies. Cyclops' final line. Thus ends the Fallen Angels miniseries, and then we get the preview that she's going to be in Hellions, so that's going to be fun. And I already talked about that issue. So this overall series was pretty good. It was alright. It wasn't the best of the Dynamic series so far, but I get that part. But for what it was a good miniseries and stopped where it should, probably. There was supposed to be more, apparently. I'm not 100% certain. And I think the idea was that it was supposed to end with, it was supposed to feature X-23 as the leader and her team of Fallen Angels, and Cyclops was supposed to move on to join the Hellions. So I think that was the plan overall. But overall, like I said, this was a pretty good series for me. I enjoyed it for what it was. I really did like Cyclops in this. She was awesome, and I loved the team that she formed. And I love how they go in with the old continuity of yesteryear when the X-Men stuff was like on the side of the Marvel universe because Fox had X-Men and Marvel didn't want anything to do with the X-Men anymore and tried to make the Inhumans the new X-Men, but that wasn't going to work because as they're not the X-Men, you can't say uncanny Inhumans. And it's because, oh, it's not because it's the X. Oh, you remember them, the Inhumans, they're the New Mutants, right? Yeah, that was never going to work. That's a stupid idea. So yeah, these were my thoughts on the Fallen Angels issues 1 through 6. This was, like I said, pretty good artwork. It was, for the most part. There were some moments I felt, like I said, the artwork's an acquired taste. The writing is very poetic in its style. Especially since this is mostly featuring a Japanese character, I believe. I get the feeling it was that, but yeah, I really did love this issue. If they continue off with the series when the writer and artist are available again, I'm getting the feeling that this will feature X-23 as the leader of this group now, with, like I said, with Cyclops now leading the Hellions, and it's with Mr. Sinister, so we can look forward to Fallen Angels coming back one day. I think they said it's going to be put on hold for now, but we'll see what happens later down the road. So those were my thoughts on Dawn of X Fallen Angels issues 1 through 6. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. So stay tuned for more, and I'll see you all next time.